Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm back. I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, a daily briefing on stand-up comedy comedians and the comedy industry, which is a sentence you would say if you were trying to train the Spotify transcription algorithm. But we don't have time for that right now because Dave Chappelle has released a surprise special. Yeah, the other night, it's the middle of the night. I wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom like us old guys do, then I got to settle myself. I pull out my phone, and I'm like, Dave Chappelle released a special. Yeah, there was this boxing thing on Netflix, and then in the middle of that, they're like, oh yeah, after the show, stick around, there's a Dave Chappelle special. What? Stop doing that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Some people are saying this is the greatest Dave Chappelle special of all time. I don't agree. No, I put this thing on, and I was psyched for it, because Chappelle's always great. And this is a very good special, but it's not number one. But I'd seen some early reviews of it, and people were raving about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm psyched for this thing. And I hit play on it, and it just looks great. It looks like a big-time comedy special should look like. Like, if you compare it to the hilarious Kumail Nanjiani, it's a guy on a stage that they just kind of shot. This looks special. This looks big-time. This looks like one of the old HBO comedy specials. And Dave comes out, and he's throwing heat. And to me, it felt like one of those nights when you're watching a baseball game, and the starting pitcher's out there, and you're like, this guy's going to throw a no-hitter tonight. No one's going to touch him. He's going to strike out 15 guys. This is one of those nights. This guy's untouchable. And that's how I felt about Chappelle for probably the first half of this special. And then by the end, I feel like it's one of those nights where that same pitcher eventually gives up a hit and winds up throwing 7 innings and giving up 2 runs, which is a really good start, but not what you had in mind an hour ago. Does that make sense? I feel like the special just didn't land at the end, but the front half, pretty strong. I don't understand the timing of the release. Don't understand the strategy at all to announce something in the middle of a fight that, hey, this thing's coming out in a couple hours. So you wind up getting press on the Saturday before Christmas, which I think if you tried to time it, you couldn't do worse. How they even shot this thing without word getting out is kind of surprising. Maybe they shoot every Chappelle show, and the cameras did seem like they were a little far away and zoomed in and not the usual handhelds in the middle of someone's face. So maybe they were able to hide it that way. But I just don't understand even the Netflix strategy of, hey, here's a surprise drop. Like, why not tease it? The Saturday before Christmas is weird. Like, even if you host a comedy podcast, it's like, dude, it's the Saturday before Christmas. I have to spend time with my family. I'll try and watch this thing tonight, which is what I did. I found time around 5 o'clock on Saturday to watch it. So none of that makes sense to me. So yeah, in the middle of the night, Dave Chappelle jumps on Instagram, posts, I wanted to shout out to my hometown, Washington, D.C., and thank everybody that came out in October to support me at the show. I just want you to know the show will be streaming on Netflix tonight after the fight. My new special drops, and I hope you love it. Thank you very much. Okay. The special is 1 hour, 15 minutes. The description, facing a world gone sideways, comedy icon Dave Chappelle delivers bold truths and potent punchlines in this no-holds-barred special. It is Dave's 8th special with Netflix. I'll give you a couple vibe spoilers here, then I'm going to get into specific spoilers. So if you haven't watched the special yet, I'll warn you one more time before I do it, but you might want to bail. In the second half of today's episode, I'll talk about Bowen Yang. Did Dave joke about transgender people? He did in one segment, and I think it's the best joke of the night. I don't want to spoil it, but he didn't ignore it, nor did he dwell on it. Dave put some facts into evidence along the way that I'm not sure I agree with his premises. I do appreciate that Dave always has something to say. Now I'll get into specific spoilers. So again, if you haven't seen the special and you would like to watch the special without Johnny Mac spoiling it, why don't you hit stop on the podcast right now? I don't want to ruin it for you, but I am about to spoil it in 3, 2, and 1. Spoilers ahead. Dave Chappelle did discuss his appearance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. That set up some pretty strong material, some of the strongest material of the night. But here's Dave Chappelle himself talking about it. I did edit an MFer at the very top of this clip. The rest is intact.
These mothers act like because I did a comedy festival in Saudi Arabia, I somehow betrayed my principles. Well, no, I know I didn't. I know. No. No, come on, everybody. Let me do this. And I'm sure, I know. All right, now everybody calm down. No, I'm sure I'm right. First of all, what did they say? They said, well, Saudi Arabia killed a journalist, and rest in peace, Jamal Khashoggi. I'm sorry that he got murdered in such a heinous fashion, but, and no buts, like, period, and also, I mean, look, bro, Israel's killed 240 journalists in the last 3 months, so I didn't know y'all was still counting.
Dave continues to joke about Riyadh and says, you know what my new job is? I sit by the phone and wait for them Arabs to call me. Great joke. At one point, Chappelle calls out Bill Maher and says, you know, Bill Maher, the famous comedian. I've known Bill since I was like 18, 19 years old, and I've never said this publicly, but F that guy. I'm so effing tired of his little smug cracker-ass commentary. Chappelle was upset with Bill Maher commenting on Dave playing Riyadh. Now, Dave makes some points. He says, 2 years ago, I almost got canceled right here in the United States for transgender jokes, but I got to tell you something, transgender jokes went over very well in Saudi Arabia. Chappelle also does a chunk about Charlie Kirk being compared to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Some good laughs out of there. Chappelle breaks into an MLK impression, saying, and I won't do it, but smash that like button and subscribe. Follow me for more content like this. I believe all black people should be free. Changed my mind. Very good segment there. Chappelle then moves on to Jimmy Kimmel's cancellation, free speech, government control, Puffy Combs. And then Dave kind of stops down and says he's going to do the longest closer in the history of his career. He asked the audience to stay quiet and focused and says he'll do 2 closers, one for the DC crowd and another that he had performed in Saudi Arabia. GQ explains, no spoilers, but what follows is a wild odyssey spanning 1910 to 2024 that manages to fold in American history, legendary zeitgeist moments, and his own lore. Well described. Watch the special. We'll let Chappelle tell it. Chappelle closes the show by telling the crowd, no matter how much this government or anyone else puts pressure on you, keep your wits about you. I'm here just to remind you that we're a community, and we will stay sane together. We'll take care of each other, and we will wait. Now, as for the title of the special, you'll see it slugged in the Netflix key art as The Unstoppable. You'll see it referred to as The Unstoppable. Johnny Mac's going to refer to it as The Unstoppable. The full name of the special is actually The Unstoppable N-Word Act. I think this special is evidence of Dave Chappelle being the best comedian in the game right now. Again, I don't think it's the best special of the year. I have it at 5th. My current list is Mark Maron, Kevin Hart, Robbie Hoffman, Matt Rife, and Dave Chappelle at 5. Those are the top tier, and then a drop down at Jim Jeffries and the rest of my previously discussed list. Again, very strong. Chappelle has something to say. Chappelle is at the top of the class, but I just felt like the second half of the special, my thumb started grabbing my phone, and that's always one of my tells, whereas Kevin Hart's special, I think, is end-to-end laughs. Kevin Hart's not going for art. Dave Chappelle's going for art. And I think Mark Maron's special nailed the combination of laughs and having something to say. Bowen Yang has finished up his tenure on Saturday Night Live. Prior to the episode, he released a statement in which he said, I loved working at SNL, and most of all, I loved the people. I was there at a time when things in this world started to seem futile, but working at 30 Rock taught me the value in showing up anyway when people make it worthwhile. I'm grateful for every minute of my time there. I learned about myself, bad with wigs. I learned about others, generous, vulnerable, hot. I learned that human error could be nothing but correct. I learned that comedy is mostly logistics and that it will usually fail until it doesn't, which is the best with 4 S's. Thank you to every single person who showed up there, friends and coworkers and audiences and hosts. Thank you to Lauren for the job, for the standard, and for bringing everyone at work together. They all care deeply about the people in the room, any room, enjoying themselves. I can't believe I was ever included in that. The show doesn't go on because it's ready, but shoot, I hope I am. During the final sketch on Saturday, Bowen Yang got teary-eyed. In the sketch, various cast members came up to him posing as holiday travelers, and it soon became clear that the skit was a vehicle to send Bowen Yang off. He told fellow cast members, this is my last shift. It's sad. I'm going to miss everything about this place. At one point, Bowen Yang broke down while expressing gratitude, saying, I just feel so lucky that I ever got to work here, and I just wanted to enjoy it for a little bit longer, especially the people. I've loved every single person who works here. SNL Off for the Holidays will return on January 17th. Other than that, Bowen was lightly in the episode. There was also the holiday joke swap between Jay and Chost. Maybe we'll get into that on Tuesday. Monday's episode's already in the can. I normally don't record Sunday, same day for Sunday. But, someone woke up in the middle of the night and dropped a comedy special on me. So here's my question for Bowen Yang. Is this the Kate McKinnon trap? Like, Bowen Yang is great, but Bowen Yang without SNL as the anchor. Let me ask you some difficult questions. Are you going to go see the Bowen Yang movie? Is that something that excites you, especially in 2025, 2026, where even going to the theaters isn't a thing anymore? Like, is a Bowen Yang movie exciting? Is a Bowen Yang sitcom exciting? Or are you kind of making the crinkle face that I am now? We're like, oh, Bowen Yang's doing a sitcom? So then what? Some sort of Netflix show, a variety show? Some sort of James Corden-esque type show? Yes, I know he has Las Culturistas. Yes, I know there's the Las Culturistas Awards. Am I a fan? Yes. Is he talented? Yes. But what do you do now? Like, what's Kate McKinnon doing? She was fantastic. I'll make her the comp here. What's Kate McKinnon even doing? So I don't know. I wish Bowen well. While we're here recording an extra episode, let me get the lilt out of my voice because this is all kinds of horrible. The media is reporting that Conan O'Brien stopped a friend from calling 911 during the fight between Rob and Nick Reiner at Conan O'Brien's holiday party last week. You may recall multiple attendees have reported witnessing Rob and Nick having an argument. One source tells the Daily Mail that the fight was so intense that at least one guest suggested calling the cops to intervene. The insider says they got in an argument, the father and son. It got so bad and loud, someone wanted to call the police to report it, but Conan stepped in and said, "It's my house, my party. I'm not calling the police," and talked them out of calling the police. That's all kinds of horrible. A source close to the LAPD said there were no 911 calls from Brian's house on last Saturday night and added, "Only the murderer is responsible, but it must be gut-wrenching for Conan to learn that this is how things turned out. I'm sure that night is replaying for him over and over. It's just so awful and sad." I mean, what do you even say? They're all kinds of horrible, and I feel like this is going to be a big story that continues. And while we're here, I did watch Kumail Nanjiani's special. It's pretty funny. I've always liked his stand-up. It's good to see him back on stage. I right now have it at number 11, with Dusty Slay's special being better and Bert Kreischer's special being slightly worse. So right now I have Marin Hart, Robbie Hoffman, Rife, Chappelle, Jim Jeffries, Justin Willman's Magic Lover, John Marco, Mo Amer, Dusty Slay, and Kumail Nanjiani. So I like the special a lot, but it just had me saying that these people that had that at number one, like, oh my God, this is the most incredible special of the year, in a year where we had Marin, never mind Chappelle, because that just came out. But the people who had that at number one, I really was wondering, is Hulu paying people to review specials? Because there's just no way. Like, there's no way that's number one. It's a perfectly fine, funny hour. But, like, just compared to Marin's special, how could you possibly have Kumail at number one? It just boggles the mind. And I saw several sites just raving about this special. Is it funny? Yes. Is it good? Yes. But is it, like, the greatest thing of the year? Not a chance. So I don't know there. Anyway, pretty busy for an extra episode on a Sunday. Earlier today, I thought today was going to be a holiday weekend filler kind of day. So I dropped Daily Comedy News Unwrapped, the stories I talked about the most during the year. And if you go back and you listen, you'll even hear me say, hey, we didn't really talk about Dave Chappelle this year. And I feel like we'll talk about Chappelle a lot for the remainder of the year. And a normal episode in the morning that I had recorded on Friday. I don't even remember what I talked about. Okay, I'm going to go enjoy my weekend. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Go watch Chappelle's special. Watch Kumail too. It's really good. It's just, it's not number one. Hilarious. Relax. See you tomorrow.